Joyce Fields. The smile on my face just says it all. What an absolute pleasure talking to Joyce. My goodness. 79-year-old woman has been with her husband for 65 years, married for 55 years, has written 11 books, cancer survivor. Just the inspiration and the joy that this woman shines, that Joyce shines, is mesmerizing. We go through some of her books. She's got great insight. You can imagine the wisdom from someone from this, for this age. She was born in 1944. Birthday's in February. She just turned 79 in 2023. She's got these great videos on YouTube and TikTok. And like I said, she's an author as well. Wait till you hear about erecting a force field. In one of her videos, she dances the chicken on her 79th birthday to Tutti Frutti. She's from Detroit, shows you how that's done. Her take on the word woke is fascinating. Synonyms like hip, up on it, she uses as well. Her books cover a wide variety. They're all nonfiction. The Best Way to Keep a Man is to Let Him Go is a great title. A Mother's Dozen, Easy Recipes for Raising Great Kids. Simple quotes to live by. She has quotes that she's coined. Just an absolutely wonderful time. The time just zoomed right by, and I loved learning about her. I loved talking to her. I didn't want it to end. It's just, I just couldn't stop smiling, and just the light that shines from this woman is just is wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. Thanks for listening. Hi, I'm Joey Pinz. People ask me, how did I lose 130 pounds? The quick answer is always discipline. I started my business, wasn't paying attention to my health, was eating too much, drinking too much sweets. My daughter was born. Next thing I know, I'm pre-diabetic, I have hypertension. I knew something had to change. Discipline. I, like many of you, have faced many challenges in your career, in your family, in your life, in your faith. How did you attack them? How did you approach them? How did you solve them, hopefully? It all had to have some degree of discipline. I'm also asked, how did you found and start a tech business that lasted over 25 years? Discipline. I was committed to it, enjoyed technology, didn't enjoy some aspects of it, but knew it was necessary. Discipline. Our podcast mission, how do we use discipline to better ourselves and society? Join me, please, as I talk to interesting people and discuss how they use discipline in their family and their passion and their careers and how it helped them. Our podcast vision, growth through learning from others. Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. It'll be light and serious. Join us, please. Thank you for consideration. Okay. I prefer that. Joyce Fields, thank you so much for your time today. I'm very, very excited to talk to you. So your mission statement is writing books that inspire people on their journey to make the world a better place. How did you arrive there?
I really don't know. It's God. My whole life, Joey, has been directed by God. It's just, I really can't explain the wonderful things that have happened to me other than God. I didn't set out to do them. I can't explain it. It's just supernatural.
But I mean, you've got 11 books kind of in your library. I believe you wrote 10 and your sister wrote one.
Exactly. You've done your research.
You're cancer survivor. You just turned 79. You're married, 65 years. I mean, you've done 55. So much.
I'm married 55.
That's right. With him for 65, married 55. Yeah. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Since we were 13 years old.
Oh, wow. In Detroit in the 50s, correct?
Yes. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was such good times.
What a wonderful time. I mean, Detroit is responsible for one of a completely own genre of music. That city created Motown. It was its own music.
We lived around the corner from Motown. Really? 2 blocks away.
Wow.
And we never went there. I never went to the Motown Museum until my granddaughter took me when, let's see, I'm 79. I was about 72, 71, somewhere around there, 69 to 73. That was how old I was when I went to the Motown Museum, 2 blocks away.
Wow.
We never went
Wow.
there because we had the music. And we also
But
had
I mean,
our neighborhood, we used to call them the big boys because we were like 9 and 10 years old. They would, in the
mm,
summertime, the big boys would get in a group and serenade us with doo wop.
wow.
It was so, wow, what a dream.
But
Yeah,
the legends that came out of Motown, Stevie Wonder,
I know.
Marvin Gaye, I mean, you know,
My family
my
has a
goodness, the list goes
connection
on and on.
to Stevie
Really?
Wonder. Yes, my cousins lived across the street from Stevie Wonder when he was a little boy. And my sister used to walk him across the street to play my cousin's piano.
Wow.
I know. And we have really, my son is a rapper out here in LA, and we want him to meet Stevie Wonder so bad so that he can
Mm.
tell Stevie Wonder about our familial connections.
There's so many stories that there was a candy machine, and the artists, the musicians would put change in one particular area, so Stevie knew where it was, and he knew where to grab it on top and push it in to get his favorite. And there's just so many stories
Hmm.
of how this legendary music was created just blocks away from you. What could you taste the energy? What was that? What was that
Oh
like?
yeah, because the big boys, that's what I'm telling you right now. That they were
Yeah.
in the neighborhood. They were like 17, 18 years old. We were like 9 and 10. Those were the big boys to us,
Wow.
you know. And so they would at night under the street light. Oh, it's just bringing back so much warmth to my soul. And they would Johnny Frambro, Charlie Maxwell, all these names.
Mm.
They're all, most of them are dead now. But boy, did they serenade us. Oh, did they make our lives wonderful.
I mean, Smokey Robinson, Marvin Gaye,
Yeah,
Aretha Franklin. I mean,
yeah,
the musicians, the geniuses created in that city, and the Central America,
yeah.
the center of our country is just absolutely amazing. It's
Hmm.
inspiring to this day. I hear Gladys Knight and the Pips and get
Yeah,
chills.
yeah. Oh, we got
Uh,
it all on our playlist, so, and we lived it. And I often tell Pap, that's my husband's name. His name is Frederick, but everybody calls him Pap. And so I often tell Pap that I live an enchanted life. And I
mm,
often tell him that I think that I was born at the perfect time, at the
hmm.
absolute perfect time, because we have the best of both worlds, not including the all the ugliness, but I was raised in the time when Sarah Vaughan, Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, and all of them were on Ed Sullivan's show and Toast of the Town and Milton, all of that, and Dean Martin's show, all of those TV shows. And so I was born in that time when we had that music, that good music, that jazz, all of that other stuff, everything. And we have a whole collection of, we got jazz, rhythm and blues. We don't call it rock and roll. Um, Country western, symphonic. We have a
Hmm.
mixture of everything. But I really like R&B. That's my favorite genre, R&B. That's black music.
Yes, yes, it certainly is. Like most American art, yeah. In one video, one of the great videos, you're dancing the chicken to Tutti Frutti. I think of Little Richard singing that. I don't think he
Yes.
was the
You know what,
originator. Yeah.
Joey? I had done it to Little Richard, but TikTok took it down. They said it violated the copyright. So that's why I sang it myself.
Oh, I think I saw it on YouTube. I don't know if I saw it on TikTok. That's interesting. They took wow.
Yeah, because it
But
violated
you
copyright stuff.
I see. And
Yeah.
you did it on your I think pretty sure the video was on your birthday in February where you turned,
Yes.
if you don't
Yes,
mind me
it
saying,
was.
79.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
proud
yeah.
of it, honey. I wave a flag saying 79.
Yeah, you look absolutely wonderful. And
Thank you.
so at 1997, you decide to write your first book, Line of Serenity.
Yes.
Have you written before? Where did this come from?
I had written before, but I didn't know that I could write. Um, that was 1997. So in the around the sixth grade, I remember writing a paper, and I remember what the paper was about. It was the concept of if our grandparents could come back and see all the modern the modern conveniences
Mm,
of that day, they would just be absolutely blown away. Their mind would be just blown, So if that was what I wrote the paper on, I remember I got a good grade. I don't know if I got an A or a B,
mm,
but that was and I remember that writing that paper. So I remember that, and then I don't remember writing anything else until 1982 when I was the supervisor of the word processing center for Detroit Edison. And
wow.
I wrote an article, and it was a contest. So I wrote an article for The Office magazine. I'm looking for it now. I can't find my copy of it. I gotta find it now. So, but I didn't win the contest, but they paid me $100 and they published the
Whoa.
article. They didn't change one word of my article, and the article was entitled "Word Processing: Teach Concept, Not Operation." And so
Mm,
the problem was that I was getting word processing operators out of high school that didn't have good English grammar, punctuation skills, and so forth. And so I devised my own test, the grammatical test for them to be able to take it. And a lot of them passed, a lot of them failed it. But at any rate, to make a long story short, I was just telling you that to say that when I got the job as in the word processing center, that's when I wrote that article. That's the second one that I remember that was they published it. So that was like the universe was telling me that my writing was worthy of
mm.
publication. That was the way that I took it. That was in 1982. But I didn't write my first book until 1997, and I don't remember, Joey, if there were any writings in between that. So I had no idea I was going to end up being an author. I had no idea. That was God again.
And so what it was God again. Yeah.
Yes.
Divine. And so you just decided your next book 6 years later, a mother's dozen easy recipe for raising great kids, and then it came out in Spanish shortly after that. I mean, why did you decide you got this experience in word processing? You know how to do it. Why write a book?
I
All of a
wanted to,
sudden, you just felt it.
the 1997, the first book I wrote, Line of Serenity, you said that.
Yeah.
Um, I'm the oldest of seven, and I wanted to capture the way that our parents raised us. We all adore each other, you know. Um, and Pap and I were just discussing just a couple of days ago the fact that I was 33 when my mother died. And I never ever saw her angry. Never in my whole life did I see my
Wow.
mother lose her temper or lose control with seven babies.
Wow.
I know it blows my mind.
Remarkable.
And all of
Wow.
us are calm. Every last one of us. My oldest brother died in 2013. He had lung cancer. And we have every other Sunday, we have a video call, and all of us. I live in California, uh, Most of them live in Michigan, and one brother lives in. Oh no, one brother now lives in Texas. He just moved this year, and then my youngest brother lives in Minnesota. So we get on every other Sunday, 5 o'clock Pacific time. We get on a video call, and I just love seeing all of them.
Is that calmness part of longevity?
I think it is. There's a chapter in Line of Serenity, and it's entitled "The Calm."
Hmm.
That's because the one thing that I remember the most is that our house was always calm. Imagine that: 7 kids, 2 parents, and a Doberman Pinscher puppy, and it was always calm. And Pat
Wow.
was amazed at how I stayed on the honor roll with all the confusion and and studying. I had to learn how to shut it out.
Mm.
So he's still amazed by that, that I can shut things out and just focus on listening to whatever.
Hmm.
So,
Perhaps has something to do with your force field.
ah, you have really done your research on me, honest to God. Okay, I just put the force field up a couple of days ago. How do you know about you already saw it?
It's wonderful.
Okay. Well,
Tell us about it.
I have an invisible force field. Nothing, nothing gets through to me, and unless I choose for it to get through to me.
Right.
So it's it's invisible, and you can't see it. And I just stick my arms through it, and I catch with my hands everything that comes at me, and I can reject it or I can bring it in to my core, to my soul, to my
Mm.
spirit. If I want it to be there, then I can look around and see if there's anything that I don't need anymore, can't use anymore.
Mm.
You know, and then I just take that, pick it up. It's behind my force field, but I put it there. I thought it was good at that time, so I can pick it up and then put it back out. See, you're
So
always
simple.
sifting. Yeah, I think it is. I really think it is.
Mm.
You don't let things get to you. My son says I live on the no stress express. When people
Mm.
ask me how I am doing, my response is always, always, always that I am too blessed to be stressed.
Mm.
That's what my typical response. Everybody in my family said, I already know how you are, but I'm going to ask you anyway. How are you? And then I say, I am too blessed to be stressed.
Sounds like a great hashtag. Too blessed to be stressed. We are in control of our own happiness, aren't we?
Yes, we are. I don't even understand that. People people think that when this happens they'll be happy. When that happens they'll be happy. It's not about that. It's your happiness comes from inside of you. So if you allow external things to create or destroy your happiness, you're going to be on a total roller coaster your
Mm.
whole life. You don't allow that. Your happiness comes from inside. If you're a good person, if you're an honest person, if you try hard to be kind, all of those things, that's what makes a good person as far as I'm concerned. I try to live by the golden rule. Even people that I haven't had any people that really wronged me, that kind of stuff. It's not,
Mm.
I see a lot of people have had that kind of thing happen to them, but you really have to get past that. You can't hold grudges. I have another video on. I love TikTok. On TikTok,
Yes, you do.
don't hold grudges.
Yes.
So holding grudges, I don't understand how people don't understand how it damages the grudgor, not the
Right.
grudgy.
More than the E. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. See, so if you understand your physiology, or not even understand it, if you know a little bit about it, you don't have to understand it. But if you are a negative person and you're saying ugly and evil things about other people, do you not know that it's taking a toll on you internally?
Mm.
It's affecting your cells, your arteries, your capillaries, your organs. It's affecting everything. You're putting all this ugliness into your body. What's your body supposed to do with it? It works against you. It's going to destroy your health. And so aging gracefully, I think, has a lot to do with trying to live your life by the golden rule, trying to do as God asked us to do. You know, it's not that I don't talk about other people, but I really don't talk about them. I don't do gossipry. I just observe your behavior and speak on what I observe.
Mm.
It's not down talking you, or it's not criticizing. I speak on your behavior, and mine can be spoken on as well. So what goes around comes around. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I have a book of quotes too. So my granddaughter told me, "Grandma, you talk in quotes." And I really do, Joey. I do talk in quotes. I say a whole lot of stuff that can be quoted.
Yeah, a wise man once said, Joyce, judge on the content of their character,
Yes.
and what they do. Yeah,
Yes.
and
Yes.
also you mentioned holding a grudge. What is the old saying? It's like drinking poison slowly and hoping
Yes.
the other person
That's
suffers.
right.
Yeah,
That's right. And see,
yeah.
that's not necessary. Don't hold grudges.
Don't, yeah, it's just such a waste of energy. So
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned the golden rule. I believe your 10th book was on the golden rule, 21 ways to use the golden rule to,
In your
in your
life.
life.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you map out 21 rules. Did you come to a point here where you just felt like you were talking about it so much you had to commit it to paper? Like why write a book about that? It's fascinating to me.
I wrote the book to help people
Mm.
because I'm an Aquarian. I was born on February 4th. I'm a true Aquarian, somebody told me. But it's like, I think one of the traits or signs is that we are visionaries or forward looking
Mm.
or forward thinking or something like that. And I'm not into the astrology or astronomy part of it, but I know I'm an Aquarian because I was born on February 4th. And there are attributes associated with all the signs. So I don't even know what the attributes are for an Aquarian. But I just, what was the question originally?
Or why you would write the book about the
Yeah,
golden rule, 21 ways.
because I just sat there and I thought of 21 different ways, and they're all
Mm.
outlined. They're numbered and outlined in the book.
Yeah.
And I just was thinking about the fact that all the world's major religions have some semblance of the golden rule in them. And
Mm. Mm.
this is the book. It's little. It's little, and it's only 43 pages. I've written 10, so I don't never know how many pages in each one. I know it's 43 pages. And here I talk about the world religions, the Christopher newsletter. Uh, you want me to read the intro? It's a short introduction. This is the
Sure,
introduction.
please.
Okay.
Okay.
Virtually every religion has its own version of the golden rule. Most agnostics, those who are uncertain about the existence of God, and atheists, those who believe there is no God, probably believe in the premise of the golden rule. wanting others to treat them as they would want to be treated. Let's take a look at the universality of the Golden Rule in the world religions as adapted from the Christopher newsletter. And I list all the world religions: Christianity, Confucianism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, Judaism, all of those. And all of them have, here's Confucianism: do not do to others what you would not like yourself.
Hmm.
Then there will be no resentment against you, either in the family or in the state. That's
Hmm.
Confucianism. That's the Golden Rule. So,
It translates.
yes,
Yeah.
every major
Eh,
religion. So, why in this world are we not doing that?
right.
All these spiritual leaders, I think they're not good for anything as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. They seem selfish to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and greedy, power hungry. And then your fourth book, Joyce, which has perhaps one of the greatest titles of any book, by the way. The best way to keep a man is to let him go, among other things.
Yeah. Well, we've been together for 65 years. I think I know what I'm talking about. And we're
Yes,
happy.
you do.
So, and let me tell you, okay, hold on. Uh, Here, I love the cover. The
Now,
best way
why
to keep
write
it.
this? Yeah, it's a great cover. Yeah.
Okay, now I wrote this one because I saw so many young girls uh, being disrespectful to their boyfriends, husbands,
Mm,
significant others, whatever you want to call them. And
mm,
I have observed and experienced that, in my opinion, 80% of the success of a relationship rests on the shoulders of the woman, the female. 80%.
really?
That's what it's based on my observations and my experiences. So when you look at older couples, and now we're among them. We're 79. He's 79 as
Yes.
well. And
Wow.
this is what I have done all my life. I watch, I look, I listen, I learn from older people. Now there aren't many left older than I am, 'cause but at any rate, I'm serving as a model for the younger generation. You
Mm,
know, and it just hit me not that long ago that I could be a role model for my nieces and nephews. Even the boys can take characteristics that they like from a female. So, but I was saying that to say what? Sometimes you lose your thoughts. So, but I'm encouraged by my
80% on
grandkids.
the woman.
Okay, 80% on the
Huh.
woman. Now, um, I looked around, and when couples have been together for a long time, usually the man sits back and lets the woman take the wheel.
Mm,
In
mm,
most,
mm,
in almost every instance, because
mm,
he has learned that he can trust her judgment, he can
mm.
trust her opinion, he can trust her experiences. All of that comes to bear on decisions that the couple makes. So that is why I say that 80%. But it's smooth, it's really smooth sailing after, I don't even know what to say, um, maybe 20 years
Mm.
of marriage, maybe 20 years. It doesn't happen in this. I think that's why the divorce rate is so high. Uh, you don't give the person enough time to work on whatever it is you want them to work on, and a lot of females expect immediate results, and you can't do that. You have to be patient. When I learned that males develop slower than females in uterus. Uh,
Really?
yeah, we all okay. We all start out at conception as female.
Hmm.
Every last one of us are female. It all the genitalia all form for the male. It all forms from the female,
Hmm.
and so it. And I figured that this is. I think I call myself a logical thinker. So I figured that if it takes them longer to form into being a male, I mean, we are female. We come out right out the chute, ready. And so I figured that if it takes them longer to be made a boy, it's going to take them longer to get to everything,
Interesting.
because you know that females advance a lot faster than males.
Mature
Yes,
quicker. No question.
yes,
No question.
yes.
No question.
So I just thought it was logical that I had to give him time
Hmm.
to get to where I was or where I wanted him to be, you know. So it's all about patience and communication to me. So did I
I
answer that
find
that point that I made
you
about the
did.
okay, good.
Absolutely. I find it's the women that also hold are the glue to the family. They hold the secrets. There are so many times where I've heard my uncles, great uncles be shocked at something that their wives have said about the family that they didn't know,
I
because the
know.
women hold the secrets of the family and they're the glue behind the scenes that keeps everything together. I have found.
Yes, honey, Joey, let me tell you, me and Pat, we watch nature programs all the time. We have so much in common, especially now that we're older. But we love
Mm.
nature programs, and we watch the lions in particular. The lionesses, you know, all the males do, and that they are so beautiful. Oh my God, the
Yes.
manes on it's just they're a real turn on for me. It just looks so regal. Ooh, and so
Mm.
all the males do is they protect the pride
That's
and
right.
they mate. That's what they're there for. So the females do all the hunting. They feed the
Hmm.
babies. You know, so look at nature. You can have a lot of inspiration and guidance from nature. That's what I
Yeah.
say.
That's wonderful. And then you have a couple books on bullying. You
Yes.
have your latest one, Jet Black, and of course another one back called Dear Bully.
Hmm.
Has there been that issue in your family, bullying?
No, not in my family.
Oh, good.
Well, I was called Four Eyes because I've worn glasses since I was 12. But uh,
Oh, wow.
so and I don't. It was done with love mostly. When I was 12 years old, there wasn't so much there wasn't any evil in this world when I was growing up. I was
Hmm.
born in 1944. There was no evil in this world that we saw. It
Hmm.
was going on, but we were pretty protected. All we received in growing up in Detroit was love, attention, affection. Those were the three
Wow.
components. We got all of those in abundance. We were financially poor. We didn't know it. The finances weren't discussed, so we moved maybe about 10 times in my childhood. We moved a lot. But we settled in there wherever mom and daddy took us. We planted the root, rerouted it.
In
So,
a
hey,
calm household.
yes. And let me tell you, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but 7 kids, 2 parents, and a Doberman puppy. We never looked for anything. When you
Wow.
use something, you put it back where it went, where it was supposed to go.
Hmm.
And you did not want 8 people hollering and screaming at you because you didn't put it back where it was supposed to go. So, and even to this very day, I hardly ever lose anything.
Mm.
I put things back where they go. There's a place for everything, and everything should be in its place. So, and there's only
So
three
simple.
places where I will put something: one, two, or three.
Hmm.
I only have to look in three places. I limit it to three places where I'll put anything.
Hmm.
So I don't have to spend time looking everywhere.
Very systematic, very smart. I love your take, Joyce, on woke. You say it's a
Hmm.
synonym to hip or up on it. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. I am so impressed, Joey, with you have done so much research on me. It's amazing. I don't think and I've done many, 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 many interviews, but I've never had anybody do this. You're blowing my mind. So, uh, that word is really being massacred. There
Mm.
is, and I put on Twitter, it's a fabulous thing to be woke. Stay woke. Woke just means open your eyes, look around
Mm.
you, see what's happening. And I also put on Twitter, the opposite of woke is sleep. Do not
Mm.
sleep through your life.
Hmm.
Stay woke, be woke, and stay woke. So I put that graphic up there with all these eyes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. And you mentioned in the 50s you used the word hip
that's right.
or
We
up on it.
That means, yeah, the word hip means, yeah, I know, I'm with it, I'm up on it, I'm aware. That's what it
I'm hip.
means. Yeah. So
Yeah.
woke, it means the same thing. It's just changed, I guess, the vernacular, but it means the same thing. Woke is not a bad word. So,
So I know I love that take, and I guess in the 60s, 70s, maybe you dig. I don't know if it was
yeah,
that was
that
that
was one too. Yeah, we did. We said that.
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I still say it. You did?
right.
Yeah,
In
so
the 80s, I'm sorry. In the 80s, we'd say word. We'd say
yes.
word.
Uh huh.
Yeah,
Uh huh.
yeah, yeah. We'd
Yeah.
say that.
So
Yeah,
it's just,
it's
I don't know. They need to
it's amazing how
find.
these. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
No, that's it. It's amazing how you get a term like that was originally meant just to be more open and be more woke and understand things and then there's people that turn it all around to a negative thing and it really means this and it means that and it's all people trying to just get attention and get clicks and get views and things like that. That's the kind of world we
Mm-hmm.
live in. But if you look at it fundamentally, like what you're doing, it just means open your eyes and just look what's happening, right?
Yes.
Just be there. You could decide if it's good or bad, but at least view it. Be woke about
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Be up on it. Don't sleep on it. I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah, it is. And then, and also the last paragraph, it says something about being concerned about the plight of others, because one day it may be
Mm,
your plight, and you'll need to have
certainly.
concern. You know. Yeah.
So Joyce, I always bring up this story. So in the 90s, I started my business and I was working hard, a little too hard. I was not paying attention to my own well-being, and I got myself to 340 pounds. And the doctor
What?
said to me, my daughter, yeah, my doctor said to me, if you don't lose the weight, you're not going to see your daughter graduate. And this is all I needed to hear. So I completely turned my life around. The next year and a half, I lost 130 pounds. I just,
Wow.
yeah. And when I tell people this, I can just see it, how'd you do it? What's your secret? And I always say discipline. It's just one
Yes.
word. I got discipline. I have focus. That's it. There's no secret. You want to do something, you got to be disciplined about it. I wonder how
Mm-hmm.
discipline plays a role in your life, Joyce Fields.
It's the master.
Hmm.
It is the master. You don't do what you want to do. You have to think about it. Why do you want to do it? When, where, how, all of that. What's going to be the result of doing it? That's another thing that I do is I work backwards. Uh, I want to get a response from PAP. I work on the approach in order to get that response.
Can you give me an example?
um, let's say he leaves the light on. Instead of saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Right.
So instead of saying, why are you leaving this light on with my face all contorted and my tone messed up and all of that? So he would be reacting to my face and my tone, excuse me,
Mm. Mm.
and maybe my posture, my body language may say something too. So as opposed to, you left the light on, do you want me to turn it out?
Hmm.
It's a big difference.
Ask a question. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and that's what we always do. Ask questions.
I find I'm 55 year old man, and I find as I get older, Joyce, I have much more questions than I have answers.
Yeah, that's true.
I
Oh, you know what
constantly
my
ask
mother used to
questions.
say, what you don't know will make a new world.
Mm-mm.
So we don't know. We don't know anything really. We just believe.
Mm.
And that is how the world is so messed up because
Mm.
P.T. Barnum made that statement. I don't know what year it was, 1904 or something like that. I don't know. He said there's a sucker born every minute. And and my mother-in-law, my late mother-in-law said, if you got a sucker, lick it.
Ha!
Yes. And honey, let me tell you, we are being licked down to the stick. So if you got a sucker, lick it. And there are,
Yeah.
P.T. Barnum made that comment, that statement, and too many suckers in this world.
Mm.
They don't think for themselves. People, we are being led down a really bad path, the way I see it. All this artificial intelligence, you cannot believe anything you see nowadays. It used to be
Right. Right.
believe half of what you see
Here.
and none of what you hear.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. Now it's going to be, with this artificial intelligence,
Oh,
it's going to be
yeah.
believe none of what you see and none of what you hear. Because this
I think you're
artificial
right.
intelligence is
It,
really, really dangerous. Oh my
it
God,
is.
it's horrible. Bad
It
news.
is. Yeah, yeah. If it could be twisted in a bad way, and
Yes, and
yeah,
that's what's going to
it can
happen.
go down a dark road. Yeah,
Hmm. It is.
yeah.
I already see
And
it.
so it is scary. So
Mm.
getting back to discipline, was it ever? Was it? You said it was a very calm household.
Hmm.
Was it ever? I wonder what your parents' view on discipline was, if you were to guess.
Oh my God, they beat our asses.
Oh, so you mean it's punitive.
Yeah,
Oh,
but it
interesting.
wasn't. It was a last resort, and I have to say, you deserved it. If they got the belt for
Mm,
your ass, you deserved it. Yes.
very interesting.
So they used. My daddy had he was a barber as well as a chef. He was a jack of all trades. He worked in the factory,
Wow.
General Motors, and he was a barber, so he had a razor strap, and that's
Mm,
what he used to whip our behinds with. But he didn't. It wasn't no. I don't even know what to
not every
say.
day.
It wasn't not every day, and it also was the last resort for them.
Last resort.
And also, it wasn't a beating. It wasn't horrible. They hit you a couple
Right.
of times. That was enough. Let me tell you, I maybe have
You learn your
gotten three
lesson.
whippings in my life.
Mm,
That stuff hurt.
yep.
It was easier to do like I was told than to get a whipping.
Right.
Yeah, so they
Yeah,
use
you
the
learned your
belt.
lesson.
And
Mm.
I don't spare the belt. I use the belt on my grandkids. Matter of fact, my granddaughter visited us. We live in California now. She lives in Michigan. Uh, and we moved to California because we had younger grandchildren. And we wanted to give them the same experiences with their grandparents that we had with the grandkids in Michigan. So she came to visit. We had been out here in California about 15 years, you know. And now I had the belt on the back of my chair. I always keep the belt handy for the grandkids. So, so Dee Dee, that's my granddaughter's name. She came over here and she saw my chair and she said, "This must be grandma's chair." I just got the belt on it. And then she told me, and I didn't even know this. She said that she used to hate the sound of that it had a big buckle on it. And then, you
Mm.
know, that little thing that you stick through the hole in it, and
Sure.
that thing would hit the belt buckle. You hear a rattling. She said she used to hate to hear that sound. Oh Lord. But yeah, but I'm a disciplinarian for real. And I'll tell you,
Mm.
you know, I give you fair warning. I'm you
Yeah,
know,
very fair.
yes, I am. You know, and
Yeah.
my son is he's 52 years old, and I
Wow.
think that he is a marvelous human being. I did a good job
Mm.
on
Mm.
mothering him. He is an absolute uh, delight. You want to hear
Mm.
about him?
Oh, sure. I would love to.
Okay. Now, this is uh, Mother's Dozen. What makes my son
Yes.
so great? He is always mannerable. He is very polite and respectful, especially with his elders. He
Mm.
loves to learn and experiments with new approaches in order to learn more. He is a responsible person and does not expect others to pay for his mistakes or wrong choices. He suffers negative consequences with dignity. He
Mm.
consciously lives his life with rules, order, and organization, thereby minimizing tension, stress, anger, conflict, and confusion. He is independent and seldom borrows or asks for assistance.
Mm.
He is exceedingly spiritual with a powerful belief in God. He regularly vocalizes his awareness of and thankfulness for his many blessings. He enjoys giving and receiving hugs and kisses. He usually takes care of must before shoulds, needs before wants, and business before pleasure. He
Mm.
demonstrates that he can effectively follow rules, instructions when appropriate. He is patient, seldom loses his temper, and uses time wisely. And the
Mm.
last one, he has a truckload of family members and friends who love, admire, and respect him and often seek his opinion or point of view. And that includes his
Wow.
mother. That is my son. He is a wonderful human
Congratulations.
being. He is an absolutely wonderful human being. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And this book, Mother's Dozen, tells you how
Yes.
to raise your children. It was a foreword was written by a minister, and he says Mother's Dozen is a handbook of excellence in raising children. It systematizes the rules passed from generation to generation regarding preparing children for the world to come. And that's just the first paragraph, that's what he says.
Mm.
Now, I want to read the ingredients that I say. Mother's Dozen, an easy recipe for raising great kids. The ingredients that I list, there's 12. Mother's Dozen. Get it? Number one, start from infancy. People bring home a
Mm.
newborn baby and they adjust their lives for the baby. That's not the way to do it.
Mm.
The baby has to adjust to your way of living. You don't do that.
Mm.
Um, Number two is manners. You teach a child manners by being mannerable to the child. Even a
Mm.
3-month-old, what if you accidentally scratch them or do something, you say, "Excuse me." The baby hears it. Now they'll learn, you know. Uh, Number 3, love for learning. Number 4, responsibility. Number 5, rules, order, and organization. Number 6, independence. Number 7, spirituality or a higher power. Teach them to believe in something that is bigger than them. Number 8, affection. Number 9, discipline, self control. Discipline, that's your word. Number 10, feed interest. Number 11, obedience. And number 12, patience. How do you teach a child
Mm.
patience, Joey? You teach a child patience by making that child wait.
Mm.
When a child asks, if a child is old enough to ask for a cookie, a snack, or a treat, that child is old enough to learn how to wait. You don't give the
Mm.
child what it wants immediately. Now, my daddy used to do this. He'd be sitting on the couch, and one of us would walk up and ask him for a nickel or a penny. A penny could get you a whole lot of candy in that day. So, and we would have to stand there and wait while he decided if he was going to go in his pocket to get out the money and give us whatever. Now, while we were standing there in front of him, we couldn't groan, we couldn't moan,
Wow.
we couldn't fidget, we couldn't do anything. Just stand there and patiently wait for him to let us. And he normally gave us more than we asked for, but we had to wait. And every last one of my siblings is patient.
Wow.
Every last one of them. We're very patient. You know, when we get on the video calls that we do every other Sunday, you can tell. And Pap is on it
Mm.
too, because they insist on him being a part of it, you know. Yeah, they're very patient people. My whole family is like that. So, patience. Teach a child patience. And also, when the child starts walking, you do not go and pick up the toys and put them away. That
Mm.
child does that. You teach them. Pick this toy up and then you walk it over there and put it where it goes. Every night that you have to put your toys away. I don't do that. You do it.
Mm.
Your toys, you played with them. You put them wherever they were. Put them away. It's very simple. People do too many things for
Okay.
babies. Babies can do for themselves. What they can do
Mm.
for themselves, they do for themselves. Once they start feeding themselves, you don't feed them anymore. So it's very simple to me.
Leading by example. I mean, your mother was calm. She didn't
Hmm.
teach you how to be calm, but so she was calm. You learned how
Exactly.
to be calm.
Yes.
You say
Lead by.
thank you. You say please. Your children will do that.
Yes. And you know, a family friend of ours, he just died a couple of days ago. He was, I think, 77 or 7, somewhere around our age. About 50 years ago, maybe 30, 35 years ago, but it was a long time. He came to our house. He was over our house, and he made the comment to me that his son, he came, no, he heard my son say good morning. And then he said something about his son doesn't say good morning to him. It really shocked me. But then I said, did you teach him to say good morning? And he didn't have an answer. He just kind of, you know, made looks, made faces and all that. You have to teach children. They don't know.
Right.
Yeah. So if you say good, you teach them to be mannerable by saying good morning and good night to everybody in the house, not just good night to your
Mm.
mother or whatever, you know.
Mm.
So, and that's the way you teach, I think, respect. You know, you say good night to everybody. You say
Yeah.
good morning to everybody. It's real simple to me,
Jo-
Joey.
it really is. Joyce Fields, what motivates you?
Life. I often lay in the bed and just focus on breathing. The fact that I'm breathing,
Hmm.
that's a turn on. Inhale, exhale. And one of the, I have this book, My Simple Quotes to Live By.
That's right.
It's 167 quotes that I coined. I coined my first quote when I was 15 years old. Didn't know I was coining a quote. But the school paper, and I have a copy of it, um, they asked us, the graduating class, middle school, the graduating class in middle school, asked us to leave some positive statements behind for the students that would follow us. And my quote was, never lose your hope and faith. At
Hmm.
15, that's what I said. They wrote it in the school paper. I don't remember saying it, but that quote has carried me through breast cancer. In 2011, I am an 11-year breast cancer survivor, and I'm a 10-year stroke survivor. My son says, you had breast cancer, you act like nothing happened. You had a stroke, you acted like nothing happened. I felt like nothing happened.
Mm.
I never felt anything from the breast cancer. Matter of fact, the doctor is the one who found the lump. I had stage
Mm.
2. I had surgery. And honey, let me tell you, I was so happy to go under the knife. My blood pressure, Pap was absolutely amazed, was
Wow.
123 over 53 the morning of my surgery.
Whoa.
I know. Yep. Joey, I felt like I had been invaded by an alien and I wanted it out.
Wow.
I
Mm.
wanted it out. And that's what she did. The surgeon took it out. And
Mm.
I didn't have chemo, it was stage 2. And I had 6 weeks or something like that of radiation. Guess when my last radiation session was? You won't.
Wow.
My surgery was in August, and the radiation started in October. But the last radiation session was 11/11/11 at 11
Whoa.
a.m. Whoa. All those ones. 11/11/11 at 11 a.m. That was my last radiation treatment. So now I lost sight of the question again.
What motivates you?
Okay. What
You said
motivates me is
life.
life. Yes. Life. And like I said, when I open my eyes, I say, thank you, God,
Mm.
every morning. And life motivates me. When I go to bed every night, and that's another thing too, my sleeping hours are normally 6 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. I love the night. Always have.
Wow.
Always have. Since I started, when I was 18 years old, I started work. And man, you talk about living for the weekend. That the OJ's, that song should never die. Living for the weekend. Honey, when Friday came, I was so happy. Oh, Lord. And I would stay up all night watching TV and just, Pat would go to sleep. He's tried to hang with me, but he would go to sleep. But I told him, I said, as long as you're over there and I can see you, I'm okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's what I have always loved the night since I was 18 years old and started work. And then when I started having my kids and then my grandkids, and they would come over, spend the weekend. At one time, I had 14 children for a weekend. I had my nieces, my
Wow.
nephews, my grandkids. And my rule is you can stay up as long as you can stay awake. As when you
Mm.
start dozing off, you're going to bed.
Right.
So that's my rule. So they stayed up and they watched the sun come up. Lord Joey, they were so freaking excited. They
Really?
watched the
This is
sun come
sunrise.
up. Yeah, because they had never seen it before. But they see it with Grandma J or Aunt JJ. Yeah, because I'm like that to this day. My grandkids, they're 13 and 10. They come over and they spend the weekend. They don't go to bed till 3, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't have school the next day, so let them stay
Right.
up. So that's my rule. You stay up as long as you can, not as long as you want to.
Mm. How do you measure success, Joyce?
Peace of mind.
Mm.
Peace of mind. That's success. Money ain't success. Material things are not success. Cars, houses, and all of that, furs. They're not success. Peace of mind. If you have that, you're successful.
Mm.
And like I told you, I tell Pap all the time, I live an enchanted life. I totally have peace of mind. Nothing disturbs me. I will not allow it. You allow things to get to you, to frustrate you, to I have I don't know if you've seen this one. You know so much about me. I have a TikTok video. I just put it up a couple of days ago, Joey. Maybe you don't know about this one yet. It's called Erect Your Own Force Field.
I certainly do. Put
You
your
know,
holes in
you
front
already
of
know
it.
about that?
Yeah,
Oh, I think
yeah,
you
yeah.
already
Put your
said
arms.
that.
Yeah, put your
Yeah.
arms right through the holes in the front.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so I have that one on TikTok. So, and years ago, when we first got married, we've been married 55 years now. Maybe when after 2 years of marriage, we would be having, he called them arguments. I call them heated discussions or heated debates or something. It wasn't no argument. So we would be eating dinner. He couldn't eat. He'd just push his plate away. Honey, let me tell you, I did not miss a forkful. We could argue or
Mm.
debate or whatever, and I can still eat. I'm hungry. Yep,
Too blessed to be stressed.
that's right. I think we all are, Joey.
Mm.
Personally, that's my belief. If you have your five senses, one of that's a great blessing in and of itself.
Mm.
You take that for granted. See, hear, feel. What is it? I always leave
Taste.
one out.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got all those five senses. That's a blessing in and of itself. Then I see things on social media where people don't have limbs and all it,
Mm.
and they still make the best of it.
Yes.
And I don't know why anybody can't look at those people who have physical handicaps and not say, well, that's, yeah, take inspiration from that. That you have all your limbs, that you have your sight, that you have your hearing. Be inspired by that. So, and, if you have a place to live, if you have clothes to put on, you have food to eat, there are a lot of people that don't have that. It breaks my
Right.
heart, all this homelessness. And,
Mhm.
and my son feeds the homeless.
Mm.
He's a really good cook because I taught him how to cook because I told him, I said, I don't know if when he was 12 years old, I said, I don't know who you're going to end up with or who you're going to marry or whatever. But if she gets mad at you and doesn't want to cook for you, you can cook yourself. And I said and I taught him how to wash his own clothes and iron his own clothes when he was 10,
Wow.
10 years old. I said if you had, and how to sew on a button too. I taught him how to do that. So he's not at the mercy of any females when it comes to cooking for him or sewing up his clothes or something like that. Yeah. So he's got a good one though. Courtney. I
Yes. Does he?
love her to the moon and back. She's a good one. He got him a good keeper. The mother of my
I think she was.
grandbabies.
I think she was the one who sent you the flowers in the video on your birthday.
Now that was Tam
I could be
Tam.
mistaken.
That was Tam Tam.
Ah, that's right. It was
That's
Tam
my
Tam. That's right.
daughter-in-law to be.
Ah.
Yeah, that was Tam Tam. So I got two good ones, Courtney and Tam Tam. Yeah. So I live an
Thank you
enchanted
so.
life, Joey.
And you're so inspirational, Joyce. I was so excited when you accepted this, and I love learning about you. You give me so much energy, and there's so much positivity. And your videos are just you watch, and you could just sense the genuinity. You could just sense this is coming from the heart. This is what I believe. And it's absolutely wonderful. I wish you to continue to do that. It's absolutely wonderful, Joyce Fields. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Joey. I'm so pleased with this interview. And the fact that you did so much research on me blows my mind.
Well, you're incredibly fascinating and contagious. Your energy is contagious. How can we find you? Anybody listening or watching?
Goodshortbooks.com. I'm on goodshortbooks.com. That's the website. There are 11 books there: memoirs, parenting, relationships, children's education, fairy tales, bullying, original quotes, health, and spirituality. 9 genres,
Those are
all
those are the
nonfiction
genres.
books. So go
Yeah,
to
and your
Good Short
TikTok is.
Books.
I'll
Yeah.
put that in the show notes. Your TikTok is JJ Fields 7.
Yes.
I'll make sure that goes in there as well. Your YouTube is Joyce Fields 6550, I believe. I'll make sure that goes in the show
Oh,
notes
I
as
didn't know
well.
about that. I just knew Joyce Fields, I guess. I don't know about all the rest of it. You telling me
I'll
something I
put it
don't
all in
know.
the show notes.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time. I hope one day if I'm in your area, I can have a cup of coffee with you and Pap. I would absolutely love it. Thank you so much for your
Oh,
time
we
today,
would
Joyce
too.
Fields. I appreciate it. I
You're
really
you're on.
appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you, Joey.
Very well.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypins.com. There you'll find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Would you like to financially support the podcast? You can go to our Patreon site. Consider $5, $10, or $20 a month. There's all kind of plans that we have there. There's like a one-time payment. What is this podcast episode worth to you? $25, $50, $100, $500, $1,000, $5,000. You be the judge. You can go to our PayPal account to do that as well. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.